Hi there, this is Elmari Noah, and today we'll be looking at creating a app for Android. So the app that we'll be building will be a meal planning app that checks the human body weight. So we start off in Lovable and we give it a prompt. In this case, please develop a HTML, JavaScript, and CSS app in a single index.html file that is able to use Android watch sensors to calculate the following human body information or indicators. That is blood pressure, blood glucose, cholesterol, and resting heart rate, as well as body composition. And you should add an extra button for planning meals and have an emergency alarm for when any of these indicators are low, so it can be replenished. There should be automatic without user intervention, and follow an Android smartwatch panel for displaying the information. So this app is for a smartwatch, and let's see. When we build, Lovable will go ahead and create the user interface for us. And we just have to wait. It's running the command, analyzing sensors and UI layout, and let's see how far it goes. Okay, so we have the app built. It's all in a single index.html file. As you can see, we have our resting heart rate, blood pressure, blood glucose, cholesterol, and body composition. As we can see from the emulated, the person here has 32 kilograms of muscle mass and only 22% body fat. Okay, so once we've done that, we can actually click on the download file. It downloads it as an index.html file. And the next step would be to use APK Builder Mac in conjunction with our Angular project. So if we look at go to the terminal, we change our directory to documents, and we simply create a Ionic project by ensure that you have Ionic installed, and then just follow the prompts or the guideline on how to create the project. So we start with sudo ionic start, type in my password, and then we're not going to use a creation wizard. We're going to follow the Angular framework and give our project a name. In this case, we're going to call the app Godly Adjustment. It will be a blank project and it's standalone. Once this is installed, we'll continue with the rest of the application. Okay, so we've got our app. We open it up in Visual Studio Code. We navigate to the source, then app, and then the home file. So this is just a generic version of the template, and we're going to edit this home page to hold in our app. So we go ahead and edit the index.html file we downloaded. We replace everywhere it says VitaWatch to our app's name. In this case, it will be Godly Adjustment, and we just find and replace using the Visual Studio tool. Once you have that, we can copy the content of index.html, and then we navigate to homepage.html. We remove the ion header because we don't need it in this case, and everything inside the ion content, between the ion content, will be replaced with the index.html template code. We go ahead and save that using our credentials. Once you have that, you can go ahead and move to the next step of this by installing globally our APK builder. Now this can be found at npm. You can install it either in your project or globally. I would suggest using global as it makes life easier when referencing the root folder. We install it, adding our credentials. Okay, so we've got the package installed globally, and now we just need to reference it correctly. Now, how do we use APK Builder? Well, we first need our key store for APK Builder according to the documentation. So we navigate to App Inventor or MIT App Inventor, follow the login wizard, and then we navigate to our settings button at the top of the ribbon and export the key store. Once we have the key store, it will be downloaded as a file under downloads with the name android.keystore. So we copy this file and place it in the root of our project folder. So we copy, go to a godly adjustment, and then just paste it over there. You might need credentials to do this, but just add in your device's password and it will be copied. Right, so now we've got what we need to run Android APK Builder. So we first navigate to our root folder, which is godly adjustment, and we're gonna see if it runs on Ionic. Now please be advised that the data won't emulate because it's not running on an actual watch. Okay, so we have the emulation, it's running, although it's not giving us actual data because it's not on the watch. We've got our app running on the emulator. Okay, so now that we know that it is working, we can go ahead and build the project. Now, how do we do that? We navigate to the root of the pro folder of the project, and to reference our globally installed APK Builder for Mac, we have to use the absolute file path. So we will do using sudo, and then for absolute path we use / and then use the following key string to navigate to the node modules. We then call on our APK Builder, we navigate to bin and then cli.js, and then to run it in this specific folder we use / and that's it. It will start building. It's a 5-step wizard, and what it does is it will create folders within our project for both Android Studio, as well as build it automatically into an APK for testing. The .aab file can be used in Google's Play Store for distribution, but we just want something so we can quickly test it on our device, and then we will distribute it using a .aab file for anyone who would like to purchase the app. Okay, so first it does building Angular app. Step 2 will be syncing capacitor, and it installs capacitor for Android and adding the Android platform. And then you see we've got our www folder if you want to make it a web app, and the Android project folder in case we want to edit in Android Studio. Step 3 would be running Gradle release build. This helps building it from a Angular project into a Java based project. Step 4 would be to reference the key store. Now to remember, you need to reference using absolute file path, so it will be /. In this case, our file is in users, and my account is Elmario Noah, and then we go to documents and our newly created app, which is Godly Adjustment, and then we reference the file android.keystore. What's the key store alias? You can do a quick Google search and you'll find that for MIT App Inventor, the alias is Android key, and then the password is that shown on the screen. So we type in the alias and the password, and voila, we have a successful app built. If we navigate to our documents folder, we'll see that we have our www folder and our Android folder for Android Studio, and www folder for web app purposes. And if we go and navigate to documents, we find that our APK has been built, as well as the signed signature file on the left. And that's it. Now we have a running app that can be tested on a smartwatch, ported, and the AAB file can be used within the Android Studio folder for distribution on Google Play Store. I thank you.